Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Special edition tonight for our TV news with a striking announcement. The charming gene exists. Yes, it is at least what recent scientific discoveries have put to light. Very exciting indeed. We will know more in a minute about this fantastic discovery. No wonder, after all, if Angelina Jolie or Brad Pitt are so mesmerizing for the other sex. They certainly have the charming gene.
The deedly 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 dum, boop boopy doop.
Right. Oh, hello, George. Some biologists and geneticists had long guessed that this gene existed. Now it is a fact, writes the international press. The result is, of course, that specialized clinics have opened in California, New York, and other American large cities, but also in London or Paris, closer to us. In these clinics, you can verify, it seems, if you have the charming gene or not. Queues are long. People are ready to pay fortunes to have their genome analyzed and see if they have the charming gene. Wonderful, if it is true. Can you imagine that? Personally, I think that if some of us have this charming gene, the effect should be so obvious that a biological analysis is useless. Don't you think? We have immediately sent a TV news team on the track. We have found the existence of a research project supported by the European Commission named Charming. This is apparently related to medical imaging. No doubt that we will learn more about the existence or not of this charming gene. I am expecting a new sequence about this project any minute now. This is live, you realize that? Directed to you from the newsroom. Thank you, Caroline, thank you. I receive at this very moment the sequence about the project and the commentary that accompanies it. So let's discover it together. Let's learn more about this charming gene story. Charming is a research project funded by the European Commission. The acronym Charming stands for Components for Highly Advanced Time-Resolved Fluorescence Microscopy based on Nonlinear Glass Fiber. The research project Charming aims at developing new components for advanced medical imaging techniques. In particular, Charming focuses on the development of new laser sources for advanced fluorescence and high-resolution microscopes. Project Charming is a consortium of 7 research groups and companies across Europe. The different components to be developed in the project include new semiconductor lasers, special optical fibers, and related in-fiber functions. The principle of fluorescence imaging is based on illuminating a sample with a laser light and analyzing the light emitted by the sample, for example, a blood drop. A laser is used to send one specific color to illuminate the sample. The sample then absorbs this specific color and emits a different color. This is a well-known process in nature called fluorescence or phosphorescence. The fluorescence process is much faster than phosphorescence. The advanced variant of time-resolved fluorescence imaging is based on the duration of the fluorescence and requires pulsed lasers as developed in this project. When the laser light pulse hits the sample, the fluorescence process occurs within a limited time span. It is recorded by a detector or a camera during a certain aperture time. If the pulse is sent again and the capture is done later, the visible information obtained is different. One could see, for example, less fluorescent molecules the second time, as fluorescence has started to fade. By repeating the experiment at varying capture onset times, the expert can discriminate between different molecules or identify, for instance, tumor cells within human tissues and organs. Standard fluorescence imaging is widely used in medical applications and helps doctors make the right diagnostic. As a benefit, time-resolved fluorescence imaging gives an additional information that enables to discriminate between more elements such as cells, proteins and molecules in a sample. This significantly improves imaging and refines diagnostic in medical approaches. This was a simplified explanation of time-resolved fluorescence imaging.
It's a fantastic project. And now I suppose that they will explain how all these techniques are used for determining if the charming gene exists or not. My guess is that it does not exist, but let's see the last part of this documentary.
In reality, in Project Charming, the process is a bit more complicated, as we do a point-by-point detection and raster scan to build up a 2D image. As a result, we can get a precise map of different molecules in a sample. Charming aims at developing new laser solutions for various imaging techniques, such as time-resolved fluorescence and super-resolution imaging. Charming has nothing to do with detecting if someone carries a charming gene, but is related to the development of new components for advanced imaging systems. The partnership of the project involves the Optoelectronics Research Centre of the University of Southampton in the UK, the German companies Nanoplus and Picoquant, the French company X-Fiber, Acro in Stockholm, the Fork Institute in Russia, and Multitel in Mons, Belgium, coordinator of this project. Charming is supported by the European Commission in its 7th Framework Programme, both to sustain innovation in medical science and to reinforce European industry competitiveness. The technology is promising. The new imaging systems that Project Charming is preparing can be applied in everyone's life and increase employment in Europe by the creation of new activities based on research progress. Charming.
So, is that all? What about the charming gene then? This Project Charming had nothing to do with the charming gene. Well, okay, there could be only one reason why such research project does not deal with the topic. It's simply that the charming gene does not exist or has not been found yet. You would actually have to be a total idiot to believe such nonsense and pay a fortune to these laboratories for a useless false analysis report. Come on, a charming gene. What else? In fact, Project Charming is a very serious research project regrouping top laboratories in the European Union and Russia. If you want to know more about its exciting perspectives, please go to www.charming-project.eu. You will find all the explanations in details, all summarized. Good reading.
Audio Jungle.